Sit down a minute. If you're past 65, this has likely already started happening to you, and it may have scared you some. You're standing at the sink, or you're lying awake before the light comes, and all of a sudden a morning from 1960 is realer than the one you're in. A face you hadn't thought of in 50 years is right there in front of you. The smell of a kitchen that got torn down before your children were born. A whole afternoon you'd have sworn was gone for good comes back so clear you could walk right into it. And the first thing most folks think is, something's going wrong up here. Something's slipping. I'm 84 years old. Hear me when I tell you this. Nothing is slipping. That mind of yours is doing the most important work it has done in your whole long life. And tonight, I'm going to tell you what that work is, what it's for, and what you're to do while it's happening. Stay with me. And if this is the kind of straight talk you've been needing, do one small thing. Hit that subscribe button. Not for me. For you? So the next night I sit down by this fire, it finds you too. For about 60 years, you were too busy to remember. Your head was full of tomorrow, bills to pay, a shift to make, children who needed feeding, 100 things pulling at you before your feet hit the floor. The past didn't have room to come up because every inch of you was spoken for by what came next. Then the noise dies down. The children are grown and gone. The work is behind you. The house goes quiet in a way it never was. And into all that quiet, the old memories finally have room to rise. They were never lost. They were just waiting on you to stop running long enough to see them. And notice which ones come back the strongest. Not last Tuesday. The years you were becoming somebody. 15, 20, 25 years old. Your first love, the first home that was yours, the song that was playing the night everything changed. There's a real reason for that, and a doctor named Robert Butler gave it a name back in 1963. He called it the Life Review. He said the old mind reaches back on purpose, gathering up a whole life, laying it all out to be looked at one more time before the end. That is not senility. That is the deepest kind of sense there is. And there's a reason those young years come back the loudest, and not the 1,000 ordinary days that came after. Back then, near everything was the first time. The first road you drove alone. A look from somebody across a crowded room that made your whole chest go warm. The first grief that taught you the world could reach right in and take things from you. A mind holds a first time far harder than it holds the 100th. So when it reaches back now, it reaches for the season when you were brand new, when every day was carving the person you would spend the rest of your life being. Last winter I was sitting on the back of my truck as the cold came down and somebody a ways off was burning cedar. That smell reached me, and I was gone. I was 7 years old in my grandmother's kitchen, and there was a green oilcloth on her table worn white at the corners, and a low song she used to hum with no words to it, and her hands. I could see her hands. I hadn't thought of that oilcloth in 70 years. It didn't come back like an old photograph, faded and far off. It came back like I was standing in it. I sat out there in the cold and let it wash all the way through me, and I wasn't sad. I felt full, like a thing I'd lost had been set back in my hands. That is what's happening to you, and what it means is plainer than you'd think. The weight you carried has finally set down long enough for you to turn and look behind you. Your mind, left to its own wanting, goes hunting for the years that made you who you are, because those are the years it counts as home. And you have been handed a chance most people in this hurried world die too distracted to get, to hold your whole life in your two hands and weigh what it was worth. Now I have to say one hard thing plain, because I don't want you carrying the wrong fear. Remembering the deep past clear and bright is a good and healthy thing. It is a different animal from the forgetting that troubles families, the lost keys, the word that won't come, the name of a grandchild gone for a second. If that kind of losing is what's happening to you, that's worth a trip to a good doctor, and there's no shame at all in going. But the old days coming back to you in full color, that is not the mind breaking down. That is the mind doing exactly what it was built to do at the end of a long road. What you do with it matters now, so you stop waving it off. When a memory comes, you don't shoo it away like it's foolishness. You sit with it. The good ones, you let them warm you all the way through, the way I let that cedar smoke carry me back to my grandmother. And the hard ones, the ones that come with a sting, you look at those too, because your mind isn't bringing them up to punish you. It's bringing them up so you can finally make your peace with them and set them down before you go. Maybe it's a person you never did forgive. Maybe it's one you never got to tell you were sorry. Maybe it's a younger you that you've judged hard for 40 years over a thing a scared young person did the best he knew how. When that rises up, that is your chance to lay the grudge down at last, even the grudge you've held against your own self. No one should carry that weight all the way to the end when he doesn't have to. That's the whole of the work. And then you give it away. You find somebody young and you tell them the name of the mule your daddy plowed with, what the town looked like before the highway went through, the way your mother sounded calling you in at dusk. Every one of those memories is a whole world, and when you speak it out loud to a young one who will carry it, it doesn't die when you do. I knew a man once who worked 40 years in the same rail yard, and he had 100 stories packed down inside him. Where the old depot used to stand, the flood that took the low road in '52, what his own father told him the morning he left home for good. He never spoke a single one. Figured nobody wanted to hear an old man go on. When he passed, all of it went into the ground with him, and his grandchildren stood at the grave not knowing the half of who he really was. Don't you do that. Don't take your whole world down with you when a young one is right there with open hands. Most folks alive can't tell you their own great-grandmother's name. You have it in you to keep somebody from being forgotten like that. Down in the comments tonight, do this for me. Tell me the oldest memory that's come back to you lately, the one that surprised you with how clear it was. Where were you? What year? Near as you can figure. There's a room full of good people here walking this same road, and reading yours might bring one of theirs home. I read every one. The fire's burning low now, and the light is going down behind the rocks. So hear me one last time before you go. That mind of yours is not leaving you. It is handing you your own life back, a piece at a time, while you've still got breath to look at it and call it good. Don't be afraid of what rises up. Sit with it. Thank it. Pass it on. Follow it all the way home, and I'll see you down the trail.